The selection. The message arrived on a Tuesday, not through conventional channels like radio waves or digital signals, but etched into the surface of the moon itself. Massive glyphs visible to the naked eye from Earth, changing the familiar face of our celestial companion forever. Humanity collectively held its breath as translation algorithms worked feverishly to decode the message. Prepare one representative. The Chirail a Perod Siches. 3 days later, they came. 7 colossal ships, each uniquely designed, entered Earth's orbit with impossible grace. No heat signatures, no propulsion emissions. They simply appeared, defying everything humanity understood about physics. The United Nations hastily assembled an emergency response team, but before world leaders could convene, the visitors made their intentions clear. "We are the Galactic Conclave," announced the holographic figure that materialized simultaneously in every major government chamber worldwide. The being shifted between forms, sometimes appearing crystalline, sometimes vaporous, sometimes resembling a complex mathematical equation given shape. Your species has developed faster than anticipated. The trial of extinction will determine if you join us or face elimination. In New York, Dr. Ilara Rhodes watched the broadcast like everyone else, heart pounding. As head of the Human Adaptation Research Initiative, she had spent her career studying how humans might survive in extreme environments, deep ocean habitats, Martian settlements, asteroid mining operations. Now, it seemed her work had become existentially important. The representative must embody the best qualities of your species, continued the alien messenger. They will undergo 3 challenges: endurance, intelligence, and ethics. Most species fail. Many become extinct as a result. World governments scrambled. Some advocated sending military personnel, others scientists or diplomats. Arguments raged across every continent about who should represent humanity in this cosmic trial. Meanwhile, the alien ships maintained their silent vigil, an ominous reminder of what was at stake. 2 weeks of global chaos followed. Special Forces operators, chess grandmasters, Nobel laureates, and spiritual leaders underwent extensive testing. But when the results were compiled, an unexpected name topped the list: Dr. Ilara Rhodes. "This is absurd," Ilara protested when military officials arrived at her lab. "I'm a researcher, not some champion. Send an astronaut or a diplomat." Admiral Chen, head of the selection committee, shook her head. The profile the aliens provided was specific. They want someone who understands adaptation, who can think beyond conventional solutions. Your work on human survival strategies in extreme environments matches their criteria perfectly. "But I've never even left Earth's atmosphere." "That's why we're beginning your training immediately. You have 3 months. The training regime was brutal. Ilara endured high-G centrifuge sessions until her vision darkened at the edges. She underwent extreme environment simulations, heat chambers that blistered her skin, cold tanks that froze her eyelashes solid. Every waking moment not spent physically training was dedicated to cognitive enhancement, multidimensional puzzles, ethical scenario simulations, advanced problem-solving under duress. At night, alone in her quarters, Ilara would stare at the ceiling, paralyzed by the weight of responsibility. 6 billion lives depended on her performance in a competition she knew nothing about, against species with technologies so advanced they could carve messages into moons. "You're not just representing humanity," Admiral Chen told her during a rare break. "You're representing every human who ever lived, every civilization that rose and fell, every achievement and failure. You carry our entire history with you." "No pressure," Ilara replied with a weak smile. As the departure date approached, Ilara's team equipped her with humanity's best technology. A neural interface linked to Earth's most advanced AI, a suit composed of programmable nanomaterials that could adapt to various environments. Medical implants that could regulate her bodily functions under stress. It was cutting edge by human standards, but Ilara harbored no illusions. To the Galactic Conclave, she would appear primitive. On the final night before departure, Ilara sat with her younger brother Thomas in the observation dome of the training facility. Above them, the alien ships glinted in the moonlight, their enormous forms partially eclipsing the stars. "I'm scared, Tommy," she admitted, something she hadn't done since childhood. "What if I fail? What if I'm not enough?" Thomas took her hand. "The thing about humans, Elle, is that we're never just one thing. You're not just a scientist. You're also the girl who once jumped into a frozen lake to save a stranger's dog. You're the woman who worked 3 jobs to put me through college after Mom died. You're stubborn and compassionate, and sometimes annoying as hell." He smiled. "Whatever they throw at you, remember, you contain multitudes." The next morning, a shuttle from the lead alien vessel descended. It had no visible entrance until Ilara approached, whereupon a section of the hull simply ceased to exist, revealing a chamber of shifting geometries inside. Admiral Chen clasped Ilara's shoulder. "Humanity is with you." Ilara nodded, squared her shoulders, and stepped inside. The opening sealed behind her, and Earth, the only home she'd ever known, fell away beneath her feet. The journey lasted either minutes or days. Time seemed to stretch and compress inside the alien vessel. Ilara's only companion was a translucent being that identified itself as Observer, apparently assigned to prepare her for the trial. "Your species is unusual," Observer noted, its form rippling like water. "Most develop technology slowly, spending centuries mastering each stage. Humans rush forward, creating nuclear weapons before fully understanding radiation, artificial intelligence before comprehending consciousness. We're impatient," Ilara acknowledged. "Is that why we're being tested? All species are tested. Few pass. Fewer still survive failure." Observer's form briefly resembled a human skull before shifting back. "The conclave contains 317 species. Each earned their place. And the others are cosmic dust." Observer guided Ilara through vast corridors into what appeared to be a habitat section. 6 chambers house representatives from other species, also here for trial. Through transparent barriers, Ilara glimpsed beings of unimaginable diversity, one composed entirely of what seemed to be organized lightning, another resembling an inside-out tree with pulsing red leaves, a third like an octopus made of mirrored fragments. "These are juvenile species like yours," explained Observer. "Technological development surpassing evolutionary wisdom. The trial determines which will become threats to cosmic stability." "We're not a threat," Ilara protested. "Humanity hasn't even colonized our own solar system yet. The Orthics," Observer gestured toward the lightning being, "destroyed 3 neighboring systems before being contained. The Mysic, the mirrored octopus, consumed their own sun experimenting with dimensional folding. Potential matters more than current capability." Ilara spent the remainder of the journey studying her competitors through the barriers. None acknowledged her presence. She wondered if they even perceived reality as she did, if concepts like sight or recognition translated across such diverse biologies. Finally, Observer announced their arrival. "We have reached the crucible. The trial begins at next cycle. Rest." Ilara couldn't rest. Through her chamber's viewing port, she watched in awe as they approached a massive structure unlike anything humanity had imagined. A sphere composed of what appeared to be fragmentary planets, oceans, atmospheres, and star material, all suspended in impossible configuration around a pulsing core of pure light. "This is where species are reborn or unmade," Observer said from behind her. "The fragments you see are remnants of failed civilizations, preserved as warnings." That night, if night had any meaning in this place beyond time and conventional space, Ilara dreamed of Earth, its blue oceans, white clouds, the delicate web of city lights spread across continents. She dreamed of crowded streets and quiet forests, of mundane mornings and extraordinary sunsets. She dreamed of humanity in all its contradictions, capable of both breathtaking cruelty and stunning compassion. She awoke to observe her hovering at the foot of her bed, its form now resembling a collection of geometric shapes arranged in a vaguely humanoid pattern. "It begins," it announced. "The representatives gather." Ilara donned her adaptive suit, checked her neural interface, and followed Observer through corridors that seemed to fold space itself, emerging into an enormous amphitheater. At its center floated 7 beings of such incredible complexity that looking directly at them caused Ilara physical pain. The Galactic Conclave had assembled. Around the perimeter stood the 6 other representatives and their observers. None spoke. None moved. "Representatives," announced one of the central beings, its voice somehow bypassing Ilara's ears and manifesting directly in her mind. "You stand before the conclave seeking recognition. The trial has 3 phases. Failure in any results in disqualification. Disqualification results in extinction. The first representative will now step forward." The landscape dissolved, replaced by a spherical chamber of shifting equations and mathematical symbols. "The trial of intelligence begins," the voice continued. "Solve the unsolvable." Before Ilara could ask what that meant, her mind was flooded with information, complex equations, dimensional physics beyond human understanding, quantum relationships that defied logic. The neural interface connected to Earth's AI offered analysis, but the problem scaled in complexity faster than the AI could process. Other species might have approached this systematically, methodically working through each equation. But humans had evolved as pattern recognizers, connecting seemingly unrelated concepts into coherent frameworks. Ilara stopped trying to solve individual problems and instead searched for meta-patterns. She noticed that certain equations created resonance patterns with others, forming what she began to conceptualize as a mathematical ecosystem. "It's not about finding solutions," she realized. "It's about understanding relationships." Using her neural interface, Ilara mapped connections between equation clusters, identifying self-reinforcing patterns. Rather than solving each problem in isolation, she created a holistic model showing how they interacted, like viewing an entire forest instead of examining individual trees. "Fascinating approach," commented the voice. "Most species attempt perfect solutions to each component. You seek harmony instead of completion." The mathematical chamber faded, replaced by what appeared to be an observation deck overlooking 2 planets, one lush and blue, one arid and red. "The trial of ethics begins. The final challenge." 2 control panels materialized before Ilara. "Your species has detected an extinction-level asteroid approaching Earth," explained the voice. "You have developed deflection technology, but it can only alter the asteroid's path, not destroy it. If deflected from Earth, it will strike the planet Nertia, home to a pre-technological sentient species with population equivalent to Bronze Age Earth. Choose." Ilara stared at the controls, understanding dawning with horrible clarity. Save humanity and doom another innocent species, or sacrifice Earth to preserve alien life. A classic trolley problem on a planetary scale. She studied both panels carefully, then looked up. "What's the asteroid's composition?" "Irrelevant to the choice," replied the voice. "I disagree," Ilara countered. "If I'm going to make this decision, I need complete information." After a pause, the voice provided details. The asteroid was primarily nickel-iron, with significant rare mineral deposits. Ilara nodded, then did something unexpected. She opened her suit's control panel and extracted her neural interface processor. With practiced movements, she connected it to both control panels simultaneously. "What are you attempting?" the voice asked, genuine curiosity evident. "A third option," Ilara replied, fingers flying across the interfaces, partial deflection combined with controlled fragmentation. Earth's space industry has extensive experience with asteroid mining. We can alter the trajectory enough to prevent extinction-level impact on either planet, then fragment the asteroid into manageable pieces. The fragments would still cause significant damage, the voice noted. "Yes," Ilara acknowledged. "Both civilizations would suffer. but both would survive. Shared hardship instead of one-sided extinction. She completed her calculations and looked up. Humanity wouldn't sacrifice another species for our convenience. We'd find a way to share the burden. Silence followed. The observation deck faded, and Ilara found herself back in the amphitheater before the conclave. The remaining representatives stood watching, their alien expressions unreadable. Unprecedented, announced one conclave member, its form shifting rapidly through dozens of configurations. No species has ever completed all 3 trials successfully. The human did not complete the ethics trial, objected another member. She rejected the parameters. Precisely, countered a third. The trial measures ethical framework, not compliance. The human demonstrated a previously unobserved approach, rejecting false dichotomy in favor of shared sacrifice. The central member's form stabilized into something resembling a geometric approximation of a human. The trials reveal nature. This species refuses limitations, creates alternatives, values all life. Dangerous traits. Promising traits. Observer materialized beside Ilara. The conclave has reached consensus. Humanity passes the trial. Earth will not face extinction. Ilara's knees nearly buckled with relief. What happens now? You return as emissary. The conclave will establish diplomatic relations with Earth. Knowledge exchange begins. Restrictions apply, but your species may continue its development. The journey back to Earth passed in a blur. Ilara spent most of it recovering, her body and mind exhausted beyond anything she'd experienced before. Observer explained that the trials had been designed to be impossible. No species was expected to complete all 3. The goal was merely to assess potential and compatibility. Why tell me this now? Ilara asked. Because your approach was unexpected, Observer replied. The conclave believes humanity may continue to surprise them. They find this intriguing. When Ilara's shuttle finally descended toward Earth 3 months after her departure, the world waiting below had changed. Humanity, faced with potential extinction, had set aside many of its conflicts. The shared threat had created unprecedented cooperation. Admiral Chen was waiting when Ilara emerged. Did we pass? She asked simply. Ilara nodded, too overwhelmed for words. News spread globally within hours. Celebrations erupted across continents. Humanity had faced cosmic judgment and survived, not through overwhelming strength or superior technology, but through adaptability, creative problem-solving, and ethical reasoning that valued all life. 1 month later, at the newly established conclave embassy in Geneva, Ilara met with Earth's leadership to explain what she had learned. They've been watching us for centuries, she explained. Most species develop linearly, mastering one technology before moving to the next. Humanity develops in chaotic bursts, connecting disparate fields in unexpected ways. They find us unpredictable. Is that good or bad? Asked the UN Secretary General. Both, Ilara replied. It makes us dangerous but also valuable. The conclave has existed for millions of years, but they've grown. Predictable. They need new perspectives. In the years that followed, humanity took its first tentative steps into the galactic community. Earth became home to diplomatic missions from dozens of alien civilizations. Human adaptability and innovative thinking became valued commodities in cosmic exchange. And in universities across Earth, the story of how one human entered the trial of extinction and walked out alive became a foundational text in the new field of technoethics, a reminder that even when facing impossible choices, humanity's greatest strength lies in refusing to accept limitations and finding a way for everyone to survive together. As Ilara often said in her lectures, the universe expected us to choose who lives and who dies. We chose to save everyone, imperfectly. That's what makes us human.